Hey there, brothers and sisters. If you're watching this video, you're probably right now in a phase of your life where you do have a hard time finding out what your true purpose is. You don't know why God has gifted you this life and why He put you on this earth. Maybe you're right now already trying different things, but you never truly arrive. Like you're always looking and searching and grabbing because you don't find out what your sole purpose is. Or maybe you just realized, hey, I'm on the wrong path, I gotta change, and you're overwhelmed on what decision you should take. So stay tuned as we find out how we can find out what God's mission for us is and how we can walk that path with confidence. The reason why I want to share my story with you guys and give you some very practical, pragmatic tips on how you can find your soul purpose is because I've been on the same journey. Just a couple of years ago, I was investing tens of thousands of dollars, all the money that I've earned, in different coaching programs, in different mentors, because I never truly knew what my purpose was here on earth. For example, I was always so focused on money, right? Financial wealth, that I just started one business after the other without ever connecting to my soul, to God, so I knew what I should do next. So I knew what was right for me. So I was wasting tens of thousands of dollars, years and years of my life, just by not knowing how I can connect to God and find out why He has gifted me this life. So I want you guys not to waste tens of thousands of dollars and years of your life and show you some pragmatic way on how you can find out why you are on this earth. So let's get started right away. So first things first, I want to talk a little bit about why we even have this problem nowadays of not knowing what our mission is, or vision, or goals, whatever you want to call it, your sole purpose. I like to call it why God has put you on this earth. We never find out why we're truly here, what path we should walk on. And the reason for it is because we have just an information overload. We're always looking externally, outside of ourselves, for solution. We have 100 million TikToks every single day being posted probably, and it's one idea after the other. It's, hey, try this meditation, try that breath work, it's try this business, it's this funny video. We are constantly overstimulated with things outside of ourselves. But this is not just social media. It's also like the food we're eating. We always have food in front of us. We consume, we eat. Breakfast, lunch, snacks, all the time we are consuming. And not just that, due to social media, we're connected to all our friends all of the time. So we never really have time for ourselves. But that's even another problem that I'm going to talk about, problem number 2. But we never really have the time, the space, where we can even receive. Because if you already got all of your hands full, how should I right now catch an idea? How should I receive a purpose if I'm completely full with my hands? If my brain is constantly working all day long, I'm always thinking, what is the next thing I gotta do? I gotta go to work, I gotta go home, then I gotta watch this series. You're always in your head and you're not able to receive. So that's overall the problem, that we're just overloaded. The second problem is that we're always looking outside of ourselves, right? Even if you would be conscious about what content you're consuming, you would be conscious about what food you're consuming, you would have this space, you would probably fill this space just with more information again, right? You would look outside of yourself. Maybe you would ask your friends because you become conscious. You've reduced the amount of information overload that you have, and you now can do something consciously with your time. The first thing people do is ask their friends, hey, what should I do? Or family, hey, I have this idea, what do you think? Or they read this book, right? Or they go to this mentor. They look outside of themselves, which is already great. If you're looking right now for your purpose and you're doing it consciously, not just getting information thrown at you, but you basically remove TikTok. You removed all of the unnecessary information overload, so you can finally consciously decide what input that you're receiving. You've already gone a long way, because the input dictates your output. But still you're looking on the outside. But if it comes to your soul purpose, if it comes to you connecting with God and knowing why He has created you, you cannot find the answer in a book, and you cannot find the answer just talking to a mentor, your friends, asking them for the advice. You gotta find the answer inside of yourself. Now, what is the problem with all of those spiritual coaches out there? They talk about meditation, breath work, sit up on a stone and just like feel into yourself and you have the answer inside of you. Well, you do have the answer inside of you actually, but you're too focused on yourself because you've been made, you've been designed. If you look at your DNA, you're here for a reason. Like there's someone that has created you, that wanted you to be here, and that is God and Jesus Christ. So you shouldn't be too overly confident in I find out my soul purpose, like I go into this meditation. We should go into meditation, but a different kind of it. We should go into prayer. The problem is, what most people do in prayer, they're like, hey God, I want to have this, I want to have that. Now let me ask you, if you would stand in front of God, would you ask God to give you this phone, give you this business, give you this career, give you this money, this partner? Or would you ask God, hey, like, what is my purpose? What should I do? Can you answer the question? So would you ask him and give him commands? Or would you receive and ask him, hey, what should I do? Please reveal the mission to me. Obviously, if you're smart enough, you would pick option number 2. But there's so many people out there when they're alone, they're praying, they're hoping, hey, I want to have this, I want to have that. You gotta stop giving God commands and you gotta finally use that space that you've created by removing information overload to receive. But how can we actually receive God's message? So the first thing that I would like you to do is just review your day. Like I want you to wake up and just be conscious for a full day of where you're spending your time, of how much time you're spending on the phone. I would even like you just to pick up your phone right now and just look at the time you spent last week on your phone. You probably haven't been aware that it's so many hours. Or maybe your problem is not the phone, maybe your problem is gossiping. Maybe you realize after work you chit-chat with your friends for a couple of hours and another hour has gone by. Or maybe it's the Netflix series, right? We all love to watch Chosen, but there's a time to consume and there's a time to receive. And if you're looking right now to find out what your mission is on earth, you should be more open, you should create more space instead of just consuming more content. So really just wake up for a full day and write down every hour or so how you spend your time. Maybe even do it for 3 days, for a couple of days, maybe even for a week. So you become aware of how much you're consuming, how much you're unaware just doing one thing after the other without ever giving yourself the space to receive. So that's the first thing that you gotta do. So step number 2, as mentioned, is stop asking God to receive this and that and just be in silence. You just gotta allow God to speak with you and to reveal what your mission here is on earth to you. You gotta give him the space, you gotta listen and receive instead of just talking and ask him all the time on what you want to have. So now that you know that you gotta be conscious about your time, create space, and that you gotta stop searching, but you gotta start receiving God's message, what I want you to do is find a place. It shouldn't be in your office. It shouldn't be like somewhere where you have a lot of stress. It maybe shouldn't be in your kitchen. Because like the environment that we have memories, we have emotions that are associated to those places. So it can really be hard for us to just stop being in our mind and being caught in our flesh and just being able to receive. So maybe go out in nature. Maybe you know a place, maybe next to a river or maybe in a forest, like somewhere where there's a lot of nature, where you can just sit down and be by yourself. Think about it now for a moment where you can find a place where you can truly connect to God's creation, to nature and earth. Now, one thing that my mentor taught me is if it's not scheduled, it is not real. So I want you to schedule right now a time with the space that you've created in order for you to go to that place and then to go into a prayer. And it's not going to be a prayer where you're going to say, God, I want to have this, I want to have that. We're going to do a prayer in a manner like this. Dear God, I feel a little lost right now. I do not know what the next step is, and I appreciate your grace. I appreciate that you always love me, that you always welcome me with open arms, that I can always let myself fall into your hands. And I'm praying that I can receive right now the mission, the reason why you put me on this earth. And I also pray that you're going to give me the courage, the confidence when I receive this message to walk this path without trying to get permission from the earth, from other people, but just with the confidence that everything is possible in Christ and that nobody can stand against me as long as I'm with you, God. So please allow me to receive my message, my mission now. Now, this is not like exact advice of how you got to do it. You don't have to do this word by word. What I just want to demonstrate here, it's not about praying, it's about silence. After you've said this, you should just sit there in silence until you receive a message. And don't force it, right? You cannot just look in the future again and be like, oh, I gotta have this vision, I gotta need it, because everything will happen in God's timing. If you give him the space where he can be with you, if you connect with him, you will receive this message. And if it's not the first time, maybe it's the next time. But what you gotta stop is just forcing it. You just gotta be willing to receive and trusting God completely that you're going to receive this message. And let me tell you a little secret that is going to be hard. It's so hard for us nowadays as human beings to just sit in stillness, in quietness. We always want to talk, we want to listen, podcast, we want to share our opinion, we want to watch the next movie. So we don't have the patience anymore. We don't have the space anymore to receive. So this is going to be hard. And let me tell you this, breakthrough comes when you're carrying your cross. And you're going to be bored maybe at some point. There's going to be emotions coming up. Your brain is going to tell you. Devil is going to tell you, stand up. Like, do something. You gotta do something. You gotta talk to this person. You gotta go to your job. You gotta watch this movie. And that is where you have to persist. That is where you have to just say, God, please give me the strength. So you can stay in that mode and keep on receiving. I'm not saying that you have to sit there for 6 hours per day, but you still have to just break through that resistance. Where the devil, the demons, they're trying to push you away, right? They want to control you. They want you to keep on being in the pattern and not finding out what God's mission is for you. And hey, the devil is real. So give yourself that strength from God and give yourself the patience in those moments where you want to go away to sit in stillness. Just allow yourself even to be bored. And if you allow yourself to be in that space, soon enough you're going to see pictures, you're going to hear a voice maybe, you're going to see something, listen something, whatever, feel something, why you're on this earth, what your mission is, what you should create on this earth, what communities you should build, what you should do here. So you just gotta allow yourself to create the space, book the time, find the great place where you're going to do this, and then just pray for strength, pray God to receive, and just allow him to do the work through you and just to receive his message and why you're on this earth. So if we look at Proverbs, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your paths. You see, it's not about you leaning at your own understanding. It's not that you have to figure it out. It's not that you gotta find it. You gotta stop wanting it so much. You gotta stop just trying and forcing it so much. You just gotta acknowledge him, Jesus Christ, and he will make straight your paths. He will give you the guidance. He will show you the path. You just gotta stop leaning on your own understanding and just give it to him, and he will help you. Or here's another psalm. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. So you see, God will reveal his message to you. It's written in the Bible. He has a plan for you. You just got to be able to receive and you gotta create the space to be connected with God. And also in Jeremiah, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and hope. So God has a plan for you. The Lord has a plan for you. You just gotta be willing to receive. I just want to warn you. The message that you're going to receive might not be the message that you want to receive. It might be a message about you carrying the cross that you haven't seen so far in your life. You just putting a burden on yourself to help others, to share love with others. It's maybe not the path that is the easiest path. It might be hard. So you can turn into the woman, in the man that God has meant you to become. So I just want to tell you, if it's making you a little bit fearful, it's making you a little bit anxious, the vision that you're going to receive, that might be a good sign. That might not be a sign that it's the wrong way, that it's the wrong path. It just might be a sign that God wants you to stretch yourself so you can expand and just really become the best version of yourself. In the next video, we're going to talk about how we can actually, if we have that fear, how if we have this anxiousness, still walk the path that God has revealed to us. But I thank you so much for watching this video. If you've learned something or you have a takeaway, write it down below in the comments. And if you want to learn other ways about how we can, as entrepreneurs, as people that want to grow on this earth, if we want to expand, just use principles from the Bible and how we can integrate Christianity into today's day and age, just watch another video here. I'm happy that you're here. Be blessed, brother and sister, and see you in the next one.